of those 70 million people are not in the rich world. They are in poor countries or middle-income countries. So the effort, a new effort, not just humanitarian, but medium, long-term effort, founded on sound development, both for refugees and for host communities, has to focus on those countries. We have now a global compact on refugees. We will have the first ever global refugee forum in December this year in Geneva. These are opportunity to rally broader coalitions of actors, not just states and the United Nations, but also the private sector, the business community, civil society, academia, to forge new ways to respond to the global refugee crisis and to finally address strategically its root causes.
The question that you're raising, will Syria find a long-lasting peace? Well, the Syrian people deserve a long-lasting peace. Think about it. They've been 8 years now in a horrible conflict which became from local, regional, and frankly international. So the answer is it must be yes. Now, how to do it is where the challenge is coming. And the only way to do it is actually to end the military conflict, because there is no solution. It's not just a word, it's the truth. There will never be just a military solution. And include everyone. New constitution, elections under the UN supervision. That would be a way to include them.
Well, I'm delighted to be able tonight to address the members of the trilaterals and their guests. And I think my focus will be tonight on three things. One is, multilateralism has been the
Good
bread and
afternoon.
butter of
It is
many
my
of us,
pleasure to
certainly at
welcome
the
you
IMF,
to this
and we believe
online
that it has been
session
critical in
on
order
the
to address
European
many
Green
of the
Deal
potential
at the
disorders
Klingendahl
of the
State of the
world.
Union Conference
Multilateralism
2021.
is under threat at the moment.
We would
and
like
I
to
think that we
thank
have
the
to make every
representation of
effort
the European
to
Commission in the
rejuvenate
Netherlands for their
it,
support to
adapt
this
it, and
session.
make sure that it continues to
The
help
overarching
govern
theme of
particularly
this
the
year's
economic,
conference is European narratives.
developments around
What
the
are
world.
they,
That's
how are they
message number
used,
one.
and
My
how do
second
they
message will
resonate
have to do with the
internally
much more
and
longer-term
internationally? So in
consequences
the
of
EU, but
short-term
also by the outside world.
policies and
Do the EU and member states use different narratives, and to what extent are narratives inherently
that we're
political?
debating at the moment.
It is clear that the European Green Deal is currently at the
in
heart
20
of
years'
EU
time if
policy
we have
making,
not
and it's
acted
also
now
a key
to
guidance
make
for
sure
the
that the
post-COVID
planet
recovery.
remains something that is hospitable
The Green
for
Deal
our
and the
children
recently
and
proposed Fit for
My third
55
message, which
package
will not
with measures to
surprise any of
achieve a
those
reduction
who know
of
me
emissions
or
by
my friends,
55%
will have
in
to do with
2030
inequality,
compared to
and in
1990
particular the
levels.
inequality
Are
that
presented
women
as a
have to
growth
suffer
strategy
and have
that
had
will
to suffer for
strengthen
a
the
long time.
EU's economy
And while
and
inequality as
competitiveness.
such is a
But
major
what about the
disruption,
costs of climate
I believe
policy
that
and
by
energy
addressing
transition?
women's
Can Europe become the green energy technology leader while
it will help
simultaneously
quite a way
sharing its
in
technologies
reducing inequalities.
to catalyze
So
transition
we'll try
in
to
other
do
parts
that
of the
tonight.
world? Is it becoming protectionist with its proposal for a so-called carbon border adjustment measure that will put a new carbon levy for cement, steel and energy at the EU's border for exports of countries
We're living through
that do
an
not have a
era
carbon
of
price or
rapid
lower
and
one?
disruptive change.
So the EU has a carbon
That's
price
across the board.
and it
Economy,
wants others to have the
society.
same.
And what
Therefore,
we're seeing
their
is that
exports to
nowhere
the
is
EU
that disruption more evident
will
than the
receive
trends
a
associated with
fee,
climate change.
and that's really new.
We're all
The EU
familiar
really
with the
started to
extreme
use
events,
its
the temperature
trade power
rises,
for climate
and the
purposes.
inexorable change that we're seeing.
My name is
to the
Louise van
planet's
Schijk.
ecology
I'm the
as
head
a
of
result
the
climate
unit
change.
for EU and Global
But
Affairs here
a
at the
major
Klingendahl
part of that
Institute, and I
discussion
also
is
coordinate
how
the
does
research on
energy
climate change.
transition
I will be the
and
moderator of the
decarbonization
event
of our
today.
energy system, which accounts for about
Today,
two-thirds of carbon
we will
emissions,
talk about these
how will
narratives
that
of the European
impact
Green Deal
climate
with
change,
excellent
and can
panel
we
of speakers.
enter an energy transition
The first
era
speaker will be
rapidly
Yvonne
enough to
Slingenberg.
mitigate
She's the
carbon
director
that
at
will
the
take us
European
to a safe
Commission's
future?
General for
This is
Climate
already
Action.
happening.
So she's one of these
energy
key
today is
people
cost competitive
who
on the
help
grid.
Frans
In a few
Timmermans
years,
shape the
renewable
proposals
energy
such as
has
the Fit
reached
for 55 package.
33% of capacity.
Then we have
Global
Piotr
power
Adam,
generation
director of the
is the
Polish
fastest
Economic
growing segment,
Institute.
and costs
Poland,
are
very
increasing,
specific
are
position
increasing
concerning climate
rapidly. So
discussions
what
in the
we're going to see it's also going to be
She's the
disruptive
Director for
the
International
business
Clean
models of
Energy
today.
at the European
It's
Climate
going to imply
Foundation,
new
which is one of these
geostrategic
big forces that
relationships among
also
countries
tries to
as
emphasize
countries move away
climate and
from
energy policy
resource-dependent
in
fossil fuel-based
societies.
systems into clean energy systems.
And at the end of the webinar there will be a spoken column
technology
by Helene Ecker. She is the climate and energy journalist at the NOS, the Dutch Broadcast Association, or in Dutch de Nederlandse Omroepstichting. She is basically the main news station here in the Netherlands. This webinar is broadcasted live via Zoom.
The low carbon economy should come because to avoid the climate change,
thank you for your interest in this event. And for those who have joined via Zoom, if you have any
many of the
questions,
governments
please post
are
them
trying
in
the
Q&A.
new technologies, new
It
regulations,
would be great if
new
you would
rules
also include to which speaker you
move
would like
to that
to address
direction.
your question.
But
My colleague,
the
Julia
International Energy
is one of
Agency
our young
assessed
research
the
talents on
current
EU
effort
affairs
was
and on the
is
external
not
dimension
enough.
of the European
We need
Deal.
much more
We'll
effort
monitor the
to
Q&A.
introduce
And her
new
task of today is
technologies
to
about
pose as many questions as
renewables
possible.
or
So
carbon-related
please try to
technologies, efficiency in a
type
difficult
them
sector,
into
in the
the
industry, and the new regulations.
Alright, without
So
further ado,
we need really double
let's
or
ask
triple
Yvonne
our
Slingerberg
efforts to make it
to
happen.
take the floor.
One of the areas which
Yvonne,
IEA focused on is hydrogen. Hydrogen
you are
can
director
be
at DG
used
Klima,
to store
Commission Department that drafted the
the
Fit for 55
electricity
package,
generated
reports to
by
Commission
wind
Vice
or
President
solar,
Frans
which is very
Timmermans.
volatile, and the storage is the
Climate
key
change
element.
has
So
featured very
battery
high
may
on
not
this agenda
necessarily be
now
enough,
for about
so
2 decades.
hydrogen can
You
be used.
are
And also
also
hydrogen can
an
be
official
used
DG
for
Klima for
steel,
quite a long time, so
cement,
you've actually
some of the
been one
industries
of the
where
servants
the
that have
decarbonization is
helped
very
shape
difficult.
many of the
So
current
that's
policies that
another
are in
area.
place.
The third one will be the
How do you
hydrogen
see
could
the
be the
European Green Deal
new
different from previous
transformation
climate
for
policy
the
initiatives?
sectors
Is there really
of the
one
oil
narrative of the
or gas
European Green Deal,
producing
or
country.
other
If
DGs
they
and
can
commissioners
remove
and those
carbon
for instance
dioxide from
responsible for
oil
climate
or
change,
gas
for
or coal,
agriculture or
then
transport,
these
have
hydrocarbons
different
change
stories.
into the very
Green Deal is and should be about.
friendly, climate-friendly resources. So this may prevent the hydrocarbon as a stranded asset. So maybe the hydrogen is one of the key areas. We need lots of infrastructure building, technologies are necessary, but hydrogen may give us a good chance to achieve the sustainable future.
Trying to have an integrated and holistic approach to policy making with the climate goals as the main objective. Indeed, as you said, I've been working in this area for quite some time already.
The challenge of dealing with disinformation narrative
that was always more like
is that it's not enough just to
bottom up,
check the facts.
having to make the
Because
case,
by definition,
having to
any
explain the
disinformation
costs, but
narrative
also,
doesn't have good
the
facts.
opportunities,
They make their
telling
facts up.
people,
They're
yes, we
actually
can do
lying.
this.
This is why it's
Whereas
disinformation.
now, of course, in the
So
new
the
fact, also
challenge
based on the
with
proposals we have been
disinformation
making
actors
for our
is
long-term
that the thing
strategy
they have
and
in common is they're
our
really
climate
good
target plan, which
storytellers.
really
They
has
tell a
set out
story
very
that
well,
people want
the
to believe.
feasibility
A lot of the time they will
both
appeal
the
to
cost as
anger,
well as the
they'll
cost
appeal
of
to fear,
inaction.
they'll appeal to
We
hatred.
now have the European
And
climate
they
law.
will
We
try and
have
stop people
our
thinking.
commitments
They'll try and get
in a
people
legally
so
binding
enraged
manner
that they
in
switch
there
off
of
their
minus
critical faculty.
55% by 2030
That means
and
that
in
for
particular
those of us
of
who
climate
are trying to
neutrality
challenge
for the whole of
these
the EU by
narratives on a daily
2050. So
basis,
this does change
it's a
pretty
much
much
more
everything.
complex challenge
Um,
than just
and
presenting
I
the
wanted
facts.
to stress that
You have to have the ability
we
to
now
tell the
tackle
story,
all sectors.
and you have to
It's
find
not
an
one by
emotion
one. We
to
do this
appeal
in this
to,
sector and that in
which
that
will actually
sector,
get
and that's
people
where
to
the Fit
think.
for 55
And
package, of
fortunately,
course,
there is a model
rather
of story which
comprehensive,
works.
and more
If you
will
think
be
of the,
coming.
of the detective
But we
story,
also really
that's a
useful
story where you're
instruments.
putting
We have
together
legal
evidence
instruments,
and you're
we have
telling people
funding
this is what
instruments,
happened,
we have
this is
support
why it
instruments
happened.
at EU
And it
level, and that
appeals
is
to
now
a different
really
sort of
moving
emotion.
towards those
Emotion.
same
It appeals to
objectives.
curiosity.
I think what we still
appeals to
have as a
problem
big
solving.
challenge as the EU
And
is
so
to reach
a
all
lot of the
citizens,
challenge of
because
dealing
this
with
is a major
disinformation
radical
is presenting the
transformation of
story of
society,
how the disinformation
and that
was
is something
created.
we also try
How
to
was
do.
the
We have
trick
put in
done?
place what
And
we
you
call
can
the
lead
Climate
people
Pact,
on the story and you
where
can
we
show
want to
them
involve citizens, but of course
this
the
person is
challenge
telling
is
you that
to reach
here is a
those that
video
are
of
not
somebody
already
attacking
active
a
in
voter
this
at a polling
policy
station
debate.
yesterday. But
The
actually, look,
Conference on the Future
this
of
video
Europe, I
showed
think,
up on
will also
CNN
be
4
interesting
years
where
ago
we
in a
try
different
to integrate
context.
all the citizens and
You
in
can share
particular
that
the
voyage of
youth.
discovery with the
Since
person
this
you're
is, of
talking
course,
with.
one of our main
And then
challenges now for this century
they will
and for
realise
next
how the trick
generations
was
in
done,
particular.
but it will also
So,
sensitise them that the next time
yes,
around
and I wanted to
they'll
just
be
add
looking
by
for
saying
that same
also
trick.
internationally,
If you
I
teach
think
people
this
very
narrative has
skills
picked
like
on
searching
quite
for a
well.
photo online or searching for a video online.
It resonates
You can
with
actually make
the
them proof
people
against
in
that
the
kind of
USA. We've
reused
seen it
content
there
and
in the run-up
repackaged
to
content.
the US
Not
elections.
just today, but
We even
every
see
time this
some
kind of thing
impact
comes up.
in China
And so
when
really
they
dealing with
also
this
have
information,
announced,
you have to have the
their
facts.
readiness to try
But you
and
have
become
to
climate neutral by
teach the skills
2060,
as well.
a
You
little
have
bit
to give
later, but of course
people
their starting point
the
is also
ability to
different.
solve the problems for themselves,
And
because then you'll be
to
appealing to
pitch
their
into
curiosity.
this race
You'll be
for
appealing to
new
their
technologies
problem-solving
and
senses.
innovation.
And you'll be
It
appealing to their
resonates
sense
with
of pride in
multinational
actually exposing
companies,
the
and
story
that
in the
again
first
has
place.
impact on
And
the
those are the kind of
employees,
emotions which
on
will then
their
counter
investment decisions,
the
etc.
anger and
So
the
I would
fear
say
and the hatred
the
that
narrative is quite
disinformation
different,
actors
it's
try to
all
target.
encompassing, and it's a positive narrative. Now your second question on are there different narratives? Also there I had to think a bit, but I think in the end it's more like different nuances. People tend to either emphasize, more
Cities
the
are
opportunities
one of the
or,
greatest
more the
innovations of
challenges.
all times, and what's interesting right now is that urbanization is, alongside with digitalization,
Thank
very,
you,
very strong
Yvonne. I
economic
think,
force and force for
you answered the
innovation.
question, but for
As
me,
more and more
there are some issues
people
with the
move
internet
into cities
connection.
and metro
So I
areas.
hope that for everybody
And,
else, they could also
Urban areas
see
were important
in any
during
case,
the
I wanted to
industrial
move to,
era, but
Piotr
they are
Arak,
increasingly important in a knowledge-based
director
economy.
of the Polish
And what's
Economic Institute.
interesting, especially
Piotr,
for a person
you
like me who
wrote
comes
an
from a
opinion
small
piece in the
city like
Observer,
Stockholm, is that
and in
there
that
seems
opinion
to be
piece
room
you expressed
for
doubts about the ability of Poland to become
cities
climate
outside the
neutral in
megacities
2050.
as well. There are some really
And this
interesting
objective to become
drivers
climate
of
neutral in 2050
innovation
is
that
also
are
enshrined in
smaller or mid-sized
EU's
cities,
climate law.
amongst
So my question
which
to you would be,
Stockholm
to
is
what extent
actually
is the
one.
narrative
There are a number of
Green Deal,
examples. And
really
what
shared
is
by
important
politicians
if
in
a city
Poland?
wants to become
And
a
what actually are
outlier
your
or a hub
concerns
for
about
innovation
the
is
EU's objective to become
collaboration.
climate neutral in 2050?
If you look at urban innovation especially,
yeah, it is already enshrined in the
you
climate
need
law,
to
so
have
what can
strong
we still do,
public
or how do you
private
view this?
partnership.
Please,
The
Piotr.
mayor needs
Thank
to
you for having me.
gather
Thank you for this,
people from private
great
sector,
conference.
from
I expected
academia
more
and
some
other
of this
stakeholders
yesterday,
around the
so
table and
as
work
I
together to
had
solve
enough
problems.
time to
And
gather
I think we see that to a quite large extent right now, and I hope we'll see more of it going forward.
About half of the mining jobs in the European Union are located in Poland. So the issue of what is going to happen with coal makes any Polish representative a speaker for the mining industry, basically.
So we had,
because
I have to
according
say,
various
a global
estimates,
meeting
we
with
can have
three
new job
North
posts
American,
in
Asian Pacific, and
in
European
thanks to
members of the
investments
Trilateral
in the
Commission,
renewable
which
sector.
was
But this
very,
makes
very
about
multidimensional, if I
300,000
may.
in Poland by
Multidimensional in the
But still,
great tradition
about
of the
these
Trilateral
80,000
Commission,
people
by
who are in work right
I
now,
would say,
they suffered a loss
experiences
during
of the members, by
economic
the
transformation of Poland.
sensitivities of the
And,
members, by the fact that
beginning
it
of
was,
90s, this is kind of
of
a
course,
fresh
a
wall.
non-partisan,
And this makes also Polish
multi-sensitivities
people a bit skeptical
meeting,
on
also because
doing
the
new
issues that we
policies.
addressed were very, very
If you look into the
multidimensional. In
Eurobarometer,
all respect, we addressed
polls tend to agree
issues
that
that
the
were
current efforts
of a
to mitigate
geostrategic
climate
nature, issues that were of an
climate
economic nature,
change
profound
are enough,
economic nature, issues that were
they also tend
related to
to
environmental
agree that
issues and
that
difficulties and
Poland
challenges.
should be climate
And we addressed also these
those who
particular
totally agree
challenges
matter
for
is
our
twice as
societies, that
lower
populism,
twice
so-called
lower than,
populism,
for example, in Netherlands,
which is
so it's
also a
less than
largely
30%, while in
multi-dimensional
Netherlands
issue.
about,
So I think it was
56%,
really
or
trilateral
EU
at
average
its
is
best,
also about
and also
So you
it
have
was the
also the
occasion
social
to
dilemma,
confirm
social dimension,
some
which is
dimensions and orientations
a
of the
bit
trilateral,
reluctant
and
to
to
do
make new
and
experience, to
the third
reinforce
issue is
in
connected
a number of
to pricing.
domains of, I would say, franchise as a trilateral commission. First, let me mention that the trilateral is called trilateral because there is not only the new hemisphere, the US, Mexico, Canada, but also Europe and also Asia. And of course, the whole of Asia at a global level is more and more important. As regards new dimension for the Trilateral Commission, not only we confirmed our own values, democratic values, rule of law,
also
human
for
rights
household and for
and
transportation.
all what goes with a democratic society, but we also reinforce and confirmed our values as regards multilateralism, international cooperation in the best sense of the term.
So just, Piotr, just for the viewers, so the EU has an emissions trading scheme that allocates emissions to big industry and thereby creates a kind of carbon price so that they lower energy, and now as part of the Fit for 55, there is this new proposal to also use this for the fuels that people use for warming their houses and for driving their cars, and this is causing some consternation, let's put it like that.
This is all publications, articles, interventions, books that would be displayed or published by the members of the Trilateral Commission. All this, of course, as part of transparency and also as part of being more influential if it is possible. We also have given a mandate to the three chairs to see in which direction we could be more proactive in terms of communication, display of our ideas through various forms. So this is something which we consider very important and is one of the major conclusions of the Trilateral Commission, which took place in Paris.
Plans to create Poland doesn't have any nuclear energy at this moment. This also creates this tension that are the Polish people going to pay the increased energy prices?
Hello, I'm Megan O'Sullivan. I am the new chair of the North America group of the Trilateral Commission. I wanted to take this opportunity to say a few words about the Commission and about our future. As you may know, the Trilateral Commission is a storied institution, an organization with 46 years of history of having an impact on big ideas, on bringing people together across different sectors and across three different geographies, that of North America, Europe, and Asia. But we are on the cusp of a new chapter, one that builds on that history, but really reorients ourselves and puts us in a position to make an impact in a very, very different world. And the reason why I have such confidence that the Commission can remake itself is because there is a need, and the Commission is well suited to meet that need. And that need is quite simply that in this day and age, in these political landscapes, the need is simply for more organizations, more individuals, more entities to take up the mantle of defending a rules-based order, an order that values and is committed to democratic principles, ideas like free trade and human rights. And we also have a need for more ideas to help us tackle new challenges, or certainly challenges that are new to this generation. And there are many reasons why I think the Trilateral Organization is so well poised to meet this need. First and foremost, we are an organization that at its heart is a community of countries that share a common set of values, that share these commitments to these ideas about democracy, about free markets, about the rule of law.
But of course, also we will talk later
about
new
membership that spans policy, business, and academia and media. And that allows us to bring minds together and experience to bear on problems that are no longer just the purview of one of those sectors. The things that need to be thought about today and where we need new solutions and prescriptions are ones that are at the intersection of business and policy, whether it is the contributions that private sector organizations can make to combating climate change, whether it is figuring out the ideas that will drive the reform of capitalism, or whether it is understanding the impact of technology on our systems. All of these things need business, government, and others at the table to help with. Now, of course, to realize this potential for the Trilateral Organization to meet this need, we are going to have to do some things differently than we have in the past. First and foremost, we are going to have to recognize, as a group primarily of democracies, we need to spend some time looking at ourselves, looking internally, saying what's happening with our own institutions, what is the health of our own institutions, and how is that situation affecting our ability to cooperate cooperate
seems to be
across
a bit of a
national lines
dilemma.
and
So Rebecca, please,
deliver
can you share
global
your
problems
views
to
on this
pressing
issue?
global solutions. So we're spending more time talking about things like populism and the impact of technology on our own societies. Secondly, we've got to think about impact differently. Traditionally, we're an organization that has had impact based on the very nature of our relationships. We're an organization of people who have close ties to national governments, and often the ideas that we debate in private inform our own perspectives and inform our discussions and deliberations and conversations with people in positions of power. That will still be true, but today we need to think about having an impact on the broader debate. We no longer live in a world where governments are the only ones that can influence the future. In fact, increasingly, we have to think about other entities as being the real engines of change, and be that corporations or universities or even individuals. We need to think about how to shape the conversation, how to bring those groups in, to have investment in and commitment to solutions, and we need to move ahead whether or not we're able to get our governments to agree with our prescriptions and recommendations. So in short, it's a really exciting time to be part of the Trilateral Commission. I'm deeply honored to be the new chair of the North America Group, and I look forward to working with all our members and my colleagues from other regions to realize this vision. Thank you.
And as I said before, these are fundamentally member state and EU challenges together. They're not simple, and they need some degree of orchestration and autonomy at the same time. We have the upcoming European Commission International Energy Strategy coming up in 2022, and for me that will be something of a benchmark of the success of the EU Green Deal. So, we have plenty of front-runner technologies in the EU, to name but a few.
Objective, the one of intermediation, has been badly eroded by technology, by the social media,
a lot of the digital technologies that go into electrification,
to society in general, to demand, to make their demands directly to the people. However, nothing has replaced the means to access
create
to
that kind
power.
of tech leadership
And
that you
the
described.
problem that societies in the world all over are facing these days have to do essentially with the fact that governments have been unable to perform well. So I believe that the real problem is not political parties, but the lack of ability of governments to deliver
Some of the tone of some of the bilateral relationships
Governments have
that
been
the EU
unable to
has
deliver for very obvious
with both
reasons.
neighbours
First of all, because it's
and
much more
countries.
difficult to govern
It's
in the
going
era
to
of ubiquitous
define a
information.
new
Because governments
relationship
no
on
longer have
energy
control
security,
of the
which
sources
has
of information.
previously
Because
always
they
been
compete for
dominated
information
by
and for
the
communications with the
geopolitics
people
of
in
energy
general.
supply.
So the
But
real
can we
problem is
change
not
that into
political
a
parties.
new
The
narrative
real problem is
around
that societies in the world
flexibility,
are
integration,
lacking
efficiency? These
legitimacy.
are
It's
very
interesting
different
to
energy
watch that there are a
paradigms,
few governments in the
which the
world
EU
that
Green
know
Deal
how to
embodies
govern and
at
have
home,
succeeded in
but
maintaining
require
the
a kind of
legitimacy
thoughtful,
of their systems. And in
concerted
those countries,
leadership
the political
abroad.
parties are not losing
And
faith. So the real issue for the looking
I'm
forward is
pretty
to
confident
create
that the
conditions
building blocks
for
are there
the people
for
to have access
the dream
to
that
the
you
political
talk about.
process without
But I
undermining
think
the legitimacy
a
of those
systemic
societies. And that's not
political
something easy
view
to
on the
accomplish.
hard and soft
It'll
power
take
that the member
a
states wield
dramatic
and that
effort of
Brussels
leadership,
wields
but not necessarily from
across
politicians.
the whole
It will
range
take
of
an
those
enormous
levers
effort of
is
society
going to be
and
the
the
lifeline
people
key
to
for
be able
success
to
on
create
climate
new
and
forms
energy.
of
And I think
participation
going back to your
within
question and
which
the
the political
provocation on
parties
energy
will always
prices,
be
we need
important.
to be very
The political
careful
parties, however,
to
are fragmenting, are
look
responding
at
to the issue, the reality
some of the
fragmentation
market
of
structures
societies,
that we promote
and
at home,
they are not likely
making
to be
sure
the
that
ones
they
to
can
lead this
respond to
process.
these,
One ought to
promote
look
social justice
only
and
at the
equity.
elections
That's going to make the
in
EU
United
Green Deal
Kingdom a
far
few
more
weeks ago
viable
to realize that
overseas
this is
and the
likely
perception of it overseas. So
what is likely to happen.
these are the types
There
of
is the Brexit
pointers
party, which
that
is not looking
I
for
think
power,
we
it's just
need to
looking
think
for an
about.
issue,
And then I think
was the
we
one who
could
succeeded.
realise
So
some of the
the
elements
citizens
of that dream
around the world
that you talked
are going to have to be much more responsible in creating
Right,
conditions
thank you.
for accessing
Thank you,
power
Rebecca.
and for making it possible for stability and legitimacy.
I think this was
to be
really
accomplished.
also you pointing out, how the EU is looked upon with regard to the European Green Deal, and that you have to have your house in order in the EU, but also how you deal, for instance, with private sector investments into fossil very
The best
interesting
way
last
for
week.
companies to
Chinese,
serve the digital
President Xi Jinping
revolution
announced
is
that
to build
China
trust
will no longer
with their
finance
customers and to build
plants
trust
abroad.
with their employees.
Also realizing that
One of the ways in which companies can do that is to have frank conversations with the workforce, to sit down with the workers and their unions and to say, look, here's the challenges that we're facing, but importantly to ask then, how can we best get there? Because all too often, a lot of the solutions that a company can put in place that will make a real difference, the employees know the answer to
the
that.
European Green Deal is also viewed as, can they do it in Europe? Is it possible? Anyway, so I wanted to ask actually, Helene Ecker, you are the journalist that joined this panel today, and you follow basically climate and energy politics on a daily basis, and now of course also the lead up to Glasgow, but also domestic Dutch politics on climate change. Helene, did you already hear something remarkable or even newsworthy in the presentation?
Take a little longer, yes, of course, but would you get it?
Well, I first would like to thank you for asking me to attend this meeting, Louisa. Well, as a matter of fact, no, I heard nothing so far, but of course it is very interesting to hear different views of the participants. What I hear from Iraq is very similar to what I experienced in Katowice in Poland years ago when I visited the climate conference over there. And this country, Poland, is having difficulties
all the opinions
make
count.
transition.
Of course, you always
a lot
have
of countries outside
the bigger
the
countries
EU also have
speak
problems,
louder, but
or maybe even more problems.
the differences are less,
experts,
and
it makes it
also
even more
the needs
important that rich
of the smaller
countries like
the
the ones
needs
of
of the
Europe and
developing
also, of course,
countries,
the United
the
States
needs
will
of the
make
groups
in
in
this,
a society
and
that are
that's
left behind.
not only in the interest of
then
Poland and these
they
countries
are
far
much better
away, but
addressed
also
by
in the
a
interest
multilateral
of
approach.
countries like
So yes,
Netherlands. It's always good
today
that
we
the
need
EU
multilateral more than ever
seeks
before.
all kind of opportunities like employment and also, of course, making money out of it. So, well, these are my remarks.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I think it's also interesting to have this conversation specifically at a time when energy prices are rising, and there's fears of them rising to a larger extent in the coming years, and maybe that's also creating inflation. There is a plan by Spain, and also Dutch politics. We see some discussion to lower maybe then some of the energy taxes, and it also links to the remarks that Piotr Arak made about the concerns on energy poverty. I wanted to ask actually to Yvonne about the policies that the European Commission has in mind. So basically what is so famously called social, the climate justice fund, and the climate justice ideas. But I think we somehow have lost Yvonne. She seems to have some connection issues. So I wanted to go actually to Piotr and ask Piotr a bit more about how in Poland people view the Fit for 55 package. More specifically, I wanted to ask, so in the previous debate we talked about the challenges and that it might be very difficult for Poland to be carbon neutral in 2050. But are there also, let's say, opportunities, or let's say, what's in it for Poland to transition? I can think about the lowered dependency on imported gas and oil from your neighboring country, Russia. And I was also very curious to hear how the CBAM proposal, so this carbon levy at the border on, again, imports from, for instance, Russia. I think they're quite nervous about it, but we also do some work on EU external energy relations in Kazakhstan. There are several countries in the European neighborhoods that export gas and oil to the EU, do not have very ambitious climate change policies in place, who are nervous about this CBAM. The Netherlands traditionally is always a very big champion of free trade, but they say now for climate change
against us and educate our citizens about those risks. But I think that technology truly is an enabler of our society, and that we should continue to embrace it, not refrain from it.
Equal level playing field also for the international competitors. So, what is your view, Piotr, on these issues, please?
Thank you. On this point, on leveling the playing field, I guess
the school of the future for the adult workforce will essentially not be a school. Many people will have to continue to learn, continue to reskill, continue to upskill, but they'll do that inside their workplace. We will need to ensure that at least 2 to 3 months of learning are integrated into every single year that somebody is at work. The second thing that we know is that the fourth industrial revolution is changing workplaces and the needs of the labor force so quickly that we're also going to need to quite fundamentally reform education systems. And that applies to the delivery and it also applies to the content. One, we need much more technology integrated into schools. And second, we need to ensure that young children are understanding how to apply these technologies in the future, understanding how to collaborate with each other rather than compete with each other.
まあというわけでした。というわけでした。はい。こちらがね、ビルダーバーグの公式サイトですね。はい、見に来てますよ、ちゃんと。これがね、世に知られるビルダーバーグ会議ですね。こういうことでした。この幕はもうね、もう知ってる。もう、東京都の23区に事務所を構えるテロリスト一味ってことで。あと稲川会も山口組も工藤会もやってるということで、住吉会もやってるということで、創価学会も統一教会もここでこういうことでした。黒幕はジャニーズ事務所とバーニープロダクションでした。こいつらいて、あと青鬼プロダクションとアーツビジョンでこいつらいて、この5社いてこいつらがやったよ。さあこういうことで不正通報し、これがビルダーバーグ会議ですね。勝手に神様気取りして何そのつもりや。意外にしろってことで、こういうことでした。もうこれがビルダーバーグ会議ですね。さあ吉本興業、お前らも裁判対象やぞ。覚えとけ。刑事告訴するか覚悟しとけ。
please do that. But they're there because they want to be entrepreneurs. They want to make things happen. And they build this event for a few years.
そういうことでした。